Welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast with Scott McKenzie. Scott is a passionate industry professional dedicated to transferring cutting-edge, industry-focused innovations and trends while highlighting the men and women who keep the world moving. So put on your hard hat, grab your work boots, and let's go.
All right, once again, welcome to Industrial Talk, the #1 industrial-related podcast in the universe. We go right past the galaxy, Doctor, and we go right into the universe, and it's all backed up by data. Did you know that?
No.
There you go.
Right
there.
me.
Right here, right now. And it is a platform dedicated to industrial professionals and people who are into the metaverse. That because you're bold, you're brave, you dare greatly, you innovate right there, the guest. You definitely collaborate, and you're changing lives, and you're changing the world. We are broadcasting from IoT Solutions World Congress, Barcelona, 2023. And if you don't have this on your calendar for next year, it is a must-attend event. If you have any passion whatsoever of being in this digital transformation game, and you need trusted people and Sherpas to help you with that journey, this is the place you find them, right here, right now. In the hot seat, we have Dr. Christina Yan
Zhang. Like Dr. Indiana Jones. That's easier.
Oh, come on. And you're with?
The Metaverse Institute.
The Metaverse Institute, yes. Let's get cracking. Metaverse Institute. How long has that been around? It can't be around a long time. Did you set it up?
Yeah.
You set up the Metaverse Institute?
Yes.
So is the URL themetaverseinstitute.com?
.org.
It's an org. Metaverse. Why did you set that up?
Good question.
It is a good question.
Because
that's what I do.
Because I feel very strongly that we should really looking at pragmatic use of the metaverse to make our real world better rather than just a lot of speculations and short-term gains.
Yeah, but there's that whole, I just jumped right into the conversation because it's all about me and I want to know about the metaverse and what you think about it. But before we get into that, it's going to happen, listeners, just FYI. Can you give us a little background on who you are? Where did you come from? Like, why are you such a great professional? Can you just sort of give us a little resume? Verbal.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you can see, I was made in China, reinvented in the UK.
Hey, she's here till Friday.
I'm still available for any interesting discussion about the metaverse and the social impact. Yeah.
So, how long has the Metaverse Institute been around?
Less than 1 year, but actually I've been in the space since 2006.
I didn't know it was around. The only time I heard of Metaverse is when Facebook changed their name to Meta.
I know.
That's it. We need to do a better job of getting that message out, don't we?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the whole idea about the metaverse started in 1992 by Neil Stephenson in the book Snow Crash, and that's already 40 years ago. And the world's first proper metaverse is called Second Life. It was created by Linden Lab, based in San Francisco of the United States, in 2003. So I was doing my master dissertation using Second Life, the world's first metaverse, to develop international strategies for universities worldwide, followed by a full scholarship to do a PhD in using digital twin in the metaverse environment to simulate and augment and optimize real-world construction, engineering, architectural projects.
You are by far the smartest one. She's smart. Right here.
I'm not sure about that.
Get out of here.
Because people saying...
Okay, I got it. I'm sorry, man. Meta, is that an acronym for something? Or just, what does meta mean? Just, let's take it back to 2003 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
At that moment, it's a digital virtual world where people can socialize, they can work, they can experience in a way which was never possible before on a large scale globally.
So, got it. I understand the industrial application. I get it.
Yeah.
I see some incredible value.
Yeah.
And I'm all bullish on it. And I see that Meta being the sort of the top end, and then you've got all of these other sort of digital solutions that sort of break down into it because you're just wanting to interact visually and interact with this information. I get it. Paint the picture of what it looks like in the future. How do you create the guardrails, the standards around that?
Well, the metaverse is really the next generation of the internet, with a whole range of different technology coming together to be more interactive, intuitive, and immersive. So it's not one thing, it's many different technology converging together. So, but a lot of people will probably focusing more on the VR, because at the very beginning in the novel of Snow Crash, it's very much centered about VR related virtual world experience, but that was 40 years ago. And what happened now is you have the whole metaverse, like layers, all the way from the IT infrastructure, say 5G, 6G, semiconductor chips, and all this kind of GPU, etc., all the way to quantum computing, high performance computing, edge computing, cloud, cybersecurity. And then we start to talk about different user interface. So VR, AR, XR, gesture recognition, voice recognition, and things like haptics. And also, if we want to go a little bit further, like Elon Musk, he really like neural links. Too exciting, I think.
That is, it's sort of, it's a little unnerving, but then it's also exciting all in one. It's sort of an odd thing, because I want one.
I think it really depends, because what he's focused now is really to looking at using neural links to support people with serious medical conditions, say if they are blind, and he's trying to looking at whether or not neural links can bring sight back to them, or people who cannot, like lost their mobility. So how to allow them to be able to walk again. And also he wants to address the issue about the aging society, where people are suffering from Alzheimer, all kinds of like different brain related issues. So he's trying to use neural links to support that issue, which I think can be quite fascinating.
I think that's phenomenal. It is. The things that and I'm glad you're in it. It's not, I'm not there, but there has to be the standards around that, because you're moving into areas that are absolutely transformative. But then there's this, I sense, you would know, that there might be people that would take advantage or not do things the way that would be, altruistic. And I throw that out because I can appreciate what you do, because you see it and you think about it and you understand there's some moral components to it. I love it. I see the benefits. But anyway, take us through that. How do you?
Yeah, I think it's a really exciting technology ecosystem coming together in the first time, which is going to be completely revolutionary. But there are tremendous risks associated as well. I think the first thing is really about data privacy and online safety. Because, a lot of tech companies, they make huge amount of money because they're selling very personalized data to different brands. But imagine when our heartbeats, the way we move our eyes and our body temperature, and even, let's say, our body movements, everything is captured 24/7 when we wear any kind of wearables. That's monitored. And if that can be, sold or monetized, I think there is a really serious concern on how much that kind of personal, especially health information of individuals should be protected.
Yes.
It's a major concern that needs to be very carefully looked at to ensure we maximize the positive impact of the technology, and also ensure for adults and also as well as children, they will be well protected.
See, this is, I agree with you 100%, and I know that there are great people like you and others addressing that. But then there's this velocity of the technology, the that exists. It's saying, hey, check this out. New use case. We can do it this. We can do it this way. We can collect this data. And there's a speed here, and then there's this effort to try to put some sort of guardrails around it to ensure that privacy or whatever it might be, because it's happening so quickly. I'm glad people like you are doing it, because I get all giddy and excited about it because I see the benefits and I understand with quotes. But the reality is that I understand too that this opens up a lot of other things that we just don't know about.
Yeah, I mean, I want to go a little bit deeper on that because, I mean, there has been a lot of discussion about how to ensure the metaverse will be safe, but very few discussion actually touch upon a really important point that if we're looking at the whole global landscape of the internet, only about 5% of them is indexed. That's what we are accessible on a daily basis. But the rest of 95% is not indexed at all. So ordinary people, we can't access it. And that's called the deep web.
Okay. Let me just make sure. So 5% is indexed. So I'm online, I can find it, whatever. I type in, how do I install this device? And lo and behold, it gives me all the options. That's indexed.
That's only 5%.
Only 5%. And there's
5%.
That's 5%, and 95 is not.
95% they are not indexed at all. It's called deep web.
Oh, shit. Blowing my mind. Okay, continue.
And among that 95% not indexed deep web, there are about another 5%, which is called dark web.
Dark web.
And it is full of criminal activities.
I don't like that.
So my argument is, if all the online safety issue we're talking about now is only focusing on that tiny bit of 5% that is indexed, and without any discussion about the 95%, which are completely out of our sight, and the 5% which is full of criminal activities, I think we are in big problem. We need to figure out efficient way to ensure not only the 5% is safe. What about the rest, 95%?
Yeah, I don't have an answer. I don't. But I. So what do you do? You've got to look at it in such a way that it's like, okay, we don't need to concentrate on this. We need to sort of whittle that down. Because it's even 5% of the 95%. The dark web is a massive amount of stuff. Massive.
Yeah.
It's incomprehensible.
I know. And that's only...
You're not giving me any... come on, help me. Help me with this.
You mean how to solve this problem?
Yes, because you're smart.
I'm not sure if I'm smart, but I'm very good at solving problems.
And she's very humble. Right. So what do you do? How do you approach that?
You mean what our organization do?
Yeah.
So we are extremely privileged to have get together a group of pioneers in AI, in machine learning, smart city, and all different part of the whole digital transformations. So we got those top leaders who has decades of experience solving real world problems. Either is to help companies to really develop digital products which can really bring commercial success, as well as achieving positive social impact. Because I think everything we need to do, it needs to serve a purpose. And especially...
absolutely spot on there. Yeah.
And especially, I personally feel really, really strongly that if we don't do anything now, collectively, as a species, our planet is not going to last long.
I agree with you, and I agree with you, and I don't want to be a Mr. Doom and Gloom. I look from the sidelines, I see what's taking place, I get an opportunity to talk to many people within industry, within this space, listen to what they're doing, how they think, and there's a picture that's being painted. And I'm always concerned about, are the right people getting the information? It's so fast. I get it. I'm having a hard time. It's like drinking from a big fire hose to try to consume it.
Yeah.
The real thing that sort of came out was with this Chat GPT. And I started using it when it was just a little dinky thing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's doing things that it's eliminating work. It's like, okay, I'm going to just pop in there. Give me an article that touches this with the call to action and do this. Give me 5 options.
Yeah.
And it's done. It's a different world.
I know it's entirely different world.
It's like, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and everyone loves like Chat GPT and anything to do with generative AI, but they didn't realize that in the future, very quickly, with the technology populates a little bit more and more advanced, what's going to happen is a large portion of the avatars in the virtual world are going to be generative AI populated.
Yes. You're not helping me out, Doc.
Yeah, so what that means is the interesting question, let's say if we both have created our own human-based avatar, we put them in the virtual environment, and then we are interacting with other avatar. You don't even know if they are powered by another generative AI or it's like another human beings. And the worst scenario is, say, if the generative AI populated avatar cause harm to the human, powered avatar, who should be legally liable?
We just had that conversation. I said, this is just another revenue stream for a law firm. It just is. And I don't mean it as a negative. I just think that because of what's happening out here at this conference and listening to people talk, it's just bound. It's just going so fast. I'm excited.
Yeah.
As an aficionado of the technology, and I get it. And I'm not anywhere near any of this. It's exciting because I think that there's tremendous good that can happen.
Yeah.
Yes, but just with society as a whole, there's always going to be nefarious behavior. So just for whatever reason, that's it. But I think that there's tremendous good beyond comprehension of what is happening between people like you and your organization and others. You have such a big heart to do what is right and see the opportunity.
Yeah, I can give you loads and loads of exciting opportunities we can explore. And I was really impressed and touched by one of the news take place last year. So basically there is a twin baby, and what happened is their head is linked together. Right. So it's very dangerous. If they don't go through proper procedures, they are not going to last long. Yeah. So what happens is a group of the world's top medical surgeons were analyzing their physical health situation and get all those data visualized in AR and VR and practice how to separate their brain in a very meticulous way. So they develop all kinds of different scenarios. I think they went through several procedures, and it's an international collaboration lasting several months, and eventually the twin baby, they both survived. They're happily lived now, and that's a miracle. That's using this kind of metaverse related technology to really bring fundamental magical in the medical field, which never happens before.
In that time period, in that effort to do that, the advancement was just massive. It's like in that short period of time, it was a major leap in that ability to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Evaluate, look at the data.
Yeah.
Do it again, simulate.
Yeah.
Simulate, hone. And then somebody, because you did it, said, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
That to me is pretty cool, huh? To make that decision is like, okay.
I think that's wonderful. And if we're talking about much larger scale, I mean, digital twin in the metaverse environment has been already widely applied across many different industries, whether it's aerospace, it's defense, it's medical, or it can be applied to advanced manufacturing, urban planning, like built environment, is pretty much all over the place.
Yes.
And it has been really proved efficient in terms of massive cost reduction as
And
well
safety.
as safety. Absolutely.
It's like huge safety component there.
Yeah.
Gosh, you're cool. I hate to do this, but I have to. Okay, so you've knocked my socks off. Congratulations,
I feel
Doctor.
honored.
I have no socks on now. You knocked them off. How do people get a hold of you, Doctor? What's the best way of saying, gosh, she's got a lot to say. I want to know more. How do they get a hold of you?
Good question. I host a weekly Twitter space talking about all kinds of interesting things about the metaverse.
What does that mean? What does that mean? You host a what?
I host a weekly Twitter space and talking about all kinds of interesting issues about the metaverse.
What is it? What is it? How do they find you?
They can find me on LinkedIn, and my full name is Christina Yan Zhang, and also they can email me at christina@metaverse-institute.org.
And there you go. Yeah. This is a bucket list that you need to put on your to-do schedule. You need to reach out to Dr. Christina. I am honored to have you on.
I feel very honored to join you today.
Oh, I said it first. You can't. There you go.
So
All
you
right.
win. You beat me. High five.
Yeah, there it is. High five it.
Amazing.
All right. You're going to have all the contact information for Dr. Christina out on Industrial Talk. Her LinkedIn profile, her email, as well as I'm going to find you on that Twitter thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to.
Yeah, and actually our last one was talking about how to use Web3 to achieve 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals.
Ta-da. Ding. She knows more than me.
I'm not sure about that. Maybe you're too modest.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You can just gloss over it. Everyone's like, oh, wow, I don't care. All right, we're once again broadcasting from IoT Solutions World Congress 2023, Barcelona. Put this on your calendar for next year. You get people that blow your socks off like Doctor here. She's awesome. So reach out to her. All right, we're going to wrap it up on the other side, so stay tuned. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.
Yeah, you want to know more. Yes, I know. I'm looking at you out on the video, and you're saying to yourself, I need to know more. I need to know more about Dr. Christina Yan Zhang. Yeah, there's her stat card, and yes, it is impressive. And yes, she's very active out there. I can tell by all of her stuff that's going on. And you want to know more. You want to know more about the metaverse. You want to know about digital twins. You want to be a part of that. And fear not. Go out to Industrial Talk. I'll have all the contact information for Dr. Christina, big time, and as well as her Twitter stuff, man. That would have been a great conversation to have. But we didn't. We had it more around Metaverse. What does that mean? Where is it going? Right there, Dr. Christina, reach out to her. All right, another thing. Mercy Chefs, you've heard me talk about it. Feeding body and soul. We had an opportunity to sort of work with Mercy Chef at another event. And you know what they do? They go to areas that have been hit by whatever, and they bring great food. And they put smiles on the faces of the individuals that are struggling because they realized, I think as a result of Katrina, Hurricane Katrina, that we could do a better job at helping people recover with food. Because food's important. Absolutely. All right, be bold, be brave, dare greatly. We're going to have more conversation. We're just working through that content stack all the way from IoT Solutions World Congress, all of the great conversations. Dr. Christina, yes, priority, make it happen. Thank you very much. You're going to change the world because you're going to hang out with her. So stay tuned. We're going to have a lot more coming from IoT Solutions World Congress, so stay tuned.